It's quite a large house and it can get quite cold in the winter. And this sitting room was too cold to use in the winter months. And we had to retreat really to the kitchen. We do have oil central heating, but that's really too expensive to run for the whole house during the winter. This room had an open fire, but that would consume huge amounts of wood. So we tended to use it for special occasions. About 10 years ago, we installed the log burning stove, and it's transformed this room. We're now able to use it every day. It gives out about 9 kilowatts of heat and uses a fraction of the wood to create that heat that an open fire would have done. This log burner cost about £1,000 10 years ago. Also, it was £1,000 to line the chimney, and with old chimneys that's very important because old chimneys tend to be porous. So £2,000 to install it and get it running. This particular fire is about 85% efficient. And it can burn wood and coal. Coal burns hotter, gives out more heat, but you've got to put up with the coal dust and the soot that inevitably accumulates on everything. Wood is cleaner and the ash can be used on the garden, so it's just much nicer to deal with, really. One of the things I have noticed over the years is that with the increasing popularity of wood-burning stoves, the price of wood has been rising. It's no longer a cheap fuel. I think around here the average price for a load is £110. When we started it was about 30. We cut our own wood, but the flip side of that is that it takes a lot of planning to ensure that every year there's enough dry, seasoned wood ready to burn for the winter. It's the cutting, the stacking, the managing of all the logs. Ideally, you need 3 bays. There's the bay that you're using at the time for the fire. There's the bay where the wood is drying. And then ideally a 3rd bay, which is the bay you're actually stacking with the wood you're cutting at the time. One of the things that came as a surprise to me was just how difficult it was to find enough kindling. Old floorboards are fine if you're doing building work, but actually just enough to start the fire every night is a lot of work itself, and that has to be stacked away and kept dry. I've got to say that this log burner is absolutely brilliant. One of the great benefits is that it's enabled us to cut down the amount of time we run the central heating for, probably down to about 3 hours a day. But I think it would be unrealistic to pretend that it's maintenance free. About every 4 years or so, the ceiling ropes have to be replaced, the fire bricks on the side and at the back have to be replaced. Sometimes the top baffle also distorts with the heat and has to be replaced. And the glass, which has to be regularly cleaned, eventually frosts up, and that also has to be replaced. So these are all costs that have to be added in. However, compared to the money we're saving by not using the central heating, it's small change. If you have lots of your own wood, I think a log burning stove is absolutely ideal. This one probably saves us around £1,000 a year. And it's lovely just to sit in the evening in front of a nice log fire. But I've got to say, if I had to buy the wood in myself, I'd be a lot less confident about the economics.